Hi there, welcome to some of the latest breaking news within the case and discussions online within the Noah Presgrove case, looking at some new potential suspects, 1, 2, 3 guys that are at the party but supposedly claiming they weren't, or things have been said by other key people in the case or parents of others saying that, they never attended, but supposedly they did, and it's documented too. I don't know what the F is going on, but I do have screenshots to share with you as for the latest discussions. And I'll be sharing it with you because the page it comes from is a private one on Facebook, so you wouldn't really have the same access as, those that do. But credit to the individual that passed the screenshots on to me. I don't know if to say their name or not because of privacy, so I'm not going to say it. The screenshots have been cut out as for the key named of the individual that, shared the screenshots. Just avoid any issues. But what is present on screen is the key stuff, the key information and talks, discussions, and you'll see it for yourself in just a second. And be sure to stick around because there's quite a few things to look at. I'm going to give my raw reactions and let you know what I think of it and how true is it and how much do I believe in it myself and how significant it really is. As a brief backstory before we go any further though, it ties on from last night's video where I looked at that cryptic post reposted onto the Reddit page saying how there was a person that had bloody knuckles and had a bite mark, but at the same time, it wasn't Mikey, it wasn't Noah, it was another person. Does it ring any bells? And then going through the slides and one person said JJ Bumpass, or Bumpass, however you say the name. And then they said bingo. Now at the time, to my knowledge, because I reached out to the odd key individual of someone out there, don't know if to mention the name or not, to avoid any issues, but a key person did state that JJ Bumpass was not at the party and was not with Logan in a relationship at the time of the party, but also broke up with Logan more so in recent time. But before that happened, some months ago, Caden Pressey was at that diner with Logan and Logan's boyfriend JJ Bumpass when Jack Newton did that Snapchat demanding answers and for the story to be retold before he gets upset. Okay? So this breakup isn't that long ago. What's the breakup about with JJ Bumpass and Logan Jernigan? Is it all because of what's going on at the moment? Or is it yet another tactic, another publicity stunt in a way, in which the same happened with Jack Newton, Carter Combs, a breakup at some point when there was too much heavy focus on the people. Oh, by breaking up, it might, lower the heat levels, cause a bit of a diversion tactic, a bit of confusion, misdirection. And then what happens in more so recent time? Oh, they're together once again. Did they ever break apart though? I wonder. Is that's what happened with JJ Bumpass and Logan? Who knows? Is it somewhat influenced by the events of what's been going on just recently? I guess we'll see. But welcome to those that are currently here in this live premiere. Share your thoughts in the live chat box on the right hand side of the screen and leave your comments down below under this video, whether you agree or not as to who's responsible for Noah's death on the basis of a murder theory scenario, and how much you trust these people that are talking about it. As a heads up, I believe the person that's saying a lot is the one that types in capital letters, the shouty voice with the exclamation marks, bright red colours all over the place, if you remember. Is this like a hype situation or is it just cold, hard facts? We'll have to see. But as for the Reddit page, reposted it from where it came from. As for the Justice page, no mention of it. As for the Army page, no mention of it, which is very interesting. But there'll be some key individuals from the Army page who are a part of this other page called Noah Presgrove Case Discussion Group. Something like that. But let me tell you something. When I searched for it last night, it did not exist. I typed in every word combination, I looked at every page, and it did not exist whatsoever. I can guarantee you that from my point of view, personal experience. This morning, when I searched for it, oh, it just magically appeared. How convenient, right? Now, it is private. I'm not a part of the group. Just one of those things at the moment. But still have screenshots, which is all good. So I'm not exactly missing out, under control. Just as a little heads up before we do go any further, if you are interested in the backstory of this type of stuff and the original post, which may or may not be included in today's video, check out the one that I uploaded last night. Top right corner of the screen, I symbol, you will find it there. And if you weren't aware, I actually did a timeline map analysis video earlier on in regards to Jack Newton, a simplified one. If you'd like to check that out, it's also available up there. If you do want to support this channel, if you go into the comment section, there is a pinned one by me with additional links if you do want to support this channel. With that all being said and done, let's proceed onwards and look at these Facebook screenshots. First of all, we actually have a summary post, which will be in reference to some of these on Facebook, which we'll get to in a second. But this individual, or a individual, said, "These are 3 guys that have barely been talked about over the last year. People have been trying to keep their names out of all of this for a reason. I've thrown out this theory before that it was Colton Newton, who was already known to not like Noah for some reason, and his friends. Now with JJ Bumpass being accused too, it makes sense because he's been trying to discredit Caden Pressey about the golf clubs. JJ Bumpass and Jack Newton have been trying to bully Caden into changing his story and or gaslight him into thinking he saw wrong. I think we're getting closer to the truth." I mean, me personally, I've not seen JJ or Jack bully or gaslight Caden. More so, I've seen it online from, Stevie Howard, Sarah Long, parents, sisters, whatever you want to call them, who weren't even there at the party, not partygoers, not witnesses, don't even know what's really going on because they weren't there to see it, and yet they're the ones supposedly interpreted by the general public as gaslighting Caden. So to hear that, Jack's done it as well, interesting. But I've not seen it myself. Okay, maybe the one-off example would be that Snapchat conversation some months ago at the diner when Caden was with Logan and JJ Bumpass. How very interesting, because if JJ is supposedly bullying Caden, then why the fuck were they hanging out then a few months ago? Bit stupid, to be honest with you. And when they were in that diner and Caden is getting messaged by Jack about, could you tell me the events, tell me everything that you know of before I get upset. It's like demanding for the same answer over and over again, but hoping in the mindset of Jack that Caden will either say something else or change it because Jack wants to hear it a certain way, and because it's not being said that way, Jack is kind of upset in a way. But whatever happening at that moment in the diner, Caden said, was Caden with his girlfriend too? I can't even remember, but I think they said Caden's girlfriend took a photo from their own phone of Caden's phone, not to notify Jack about taking screenshots through Snapchat, because that's what would happen. But all whilst that's going on, you got Logan opposite and JJ opposite Caden. Did they hear about it? What did they think? What did they say? Surely JJ would be going at Caden on the spot too, or not? It's worth highlighting, isn't it? As for Colton Newton, have I ever thought he was a party goer? I've just not seen any evidence to suggest it. But I've definitely seen a defensive tone and threatening language by them when defending Stephanie Millan, of all people, when a member of the general public reached out to Stephanie inquiring about, what happened there. Why would Colton care so much? Oh, because Colton knows something, or he was there? You could angle it that way. But why, oh why, oh why, oh why isn't Logan's name brought up more? Why, oh why isn't Stephanie Millan's name brought up more? Why is Stephanie Millan so under the radar when there's so many people out there that like to focus in on Jack or talk about Caden, talk about Stevie Howard of all people who weren't even there, or Sarah Long? Why not Stephanie? Because they're innocent. Well, people talk about Isaac, people talk about Brylan, people talk about Caden, who's supposedly innocent. You focus on them. Why can't you focus on Stephanie? Is it because there's no information? There's not enough details? Were they even in the video footage at the party? I wouldn't be able to identify everyone's face, because I don't know them. But, I'd like to know that from people's point of view. So, with some of that in mind, Dina Rose, the shouty tone, there were 2 that had bites by Noah. Now, they type in capital letters because supposedly they've got bad vision. So, there we go. So, there were 2 that had bites by Noah. 2 people. So I'm guessing one, Mikey, the other one, supposedly JJ, from what some people have stated. Dina says one had no antibiotics, the other one did. God knows Noah fought with all he had, told he could no more. No right answer yet to the one that had to have antibiotics yet. Ugh. Anyway, what do I think about this? Well, wording it as in Noah fought them with all he had. What? At the same time as when in the party house over a phone, Noah bit Mikey because Mikey fish hooked Noah? Or are we saying that's a completely separate event and then later on around 3:30 or so, JJ and another person both had bite marks? I mean, there's a lot of biting going on. It's not even in, the nature you may think of. So, a little bit weird. But at least how it says here, no right answer yet. That's unfortunate. But there's more to the conversation. Jalen says, I thought JJ Bumpass was not at the party. And that's responding to Kobe. Supposedly Kobe is a friend of JJ and wasn't even aware of JJ being at the party, supposedly. More about that later. This person called Amy says, they were so jealous. I have put this theory out several times as well as others, but hoping it wasn't true. Lord, I pray Noah didn't suffer. Dina, he was there. He came with Trav after a trip to Oklahoma. Dina says he got there with Trav after a trip to, I don't know why it's on repeat. That's new information for me. Kobe says, same here. He even told me and Caden he was never there. Well, if Caden doesn't remember JJ or Trav being at the party, it's probably at the time of when Caden was asleep. Obviously, Caden wouldn't know. Fair enough. But, just to make it very clear, in terms of Trav, also known as Travis Monson, or Monsoon, however you say the bloody name, a Texas individual supposedly, who can be seen in some of the party footage in the background wearing a patterned shirt, who also is wearing it at another point, matching shirts, hat, looks to be the same person. Furthermore, the Trav, what we're talking about, not the original Trav. The original Trav is the problematic one online that was threatening to sue people left, right and centre. They were called Travis Davidson. The Trav which Dina is talking about here is Travis Monson. I've never really heard their name much before, but as a reference to last night, when they were giving the named initials, it did say TM. So now I know TM means Travis Monson, in case you were wondering. I know it's a new name, remembering it all, it's a mess, isn't it? But we go through it bit by bit. We can also take a deeper look in the future if need be, so it's easier to keep up with. So let's move on. Jalen says, but JJ Bumpass was not her boyfriend at the time. Yeah, that's what I said too. And I thought somewhere he said he did not go, or maybe Caden Pressey said he was not there. Me personally, I've never seen Caden Pressey refer to JJ Bumpass, not in the interviews like on Partners in True Crime. But that question could be answered, that would be good. Melanie says, isn't that a crime too? And this to the list of crimes. What, biting someone's finger? What? Dina Rose, he was at the party house on Sunday. He and Trav showed up there after being in Oklahoma City. He was there at 3 a.m. But why? Why exactly at that time? When it's coming towards the end of the party on the Monday of all days, why did they show up so late? Did they go to the dove hunt earlier on Friday, Saturday? Just a little random question. Wanted to throw out there. Jalen, Dina Rose. So does that mean JJ Bumphouse was there at exactly 3 o'clock, or was he there at 2:50 in the morning? So we're talking about specific timing. It's important to note because whilst Caden Pressey went to sleep at 2 in the morning, woke up at 2:42, then went back to sleep, originally in Caden's statement on Facebook, he said he went to sleep at 3 in the morning. To better word it, he went back to sleep 3 in the morning. So could Caden have seen this supposed Travis Monson and JJ Bumpass just arriving or not? Because even if you were just about to close your eyes, it takes some time to go back off to sleep in a way. So in that process of trying to drift back off to sleep, if someone comes on through the door, if there's a noise or not, you'd be more than likely to hear it, unless you're a deep sleeper and you can drop off quick. I don't know how that applies to Caden. But what do we have here? Another comment by Dina. First of all, and most important, our family considered Noah a bonus family member. He grew up with 3 of our boys and our girl. We loved him. We'll always love him. We want nothing more than justice for Noah. I saw this story nowhere. I saw this story now here. Now here, what? I know this to be a true event that happened. I know this is to be a true event. Can we have more evidence though? Believe me, plenty people that were involved in the events of Noah's death and cover-up now, the ones that got the antibiotics now, certain LE now, that you find it odd that none of the defenders had any comments to make on his post. Could it be they can't believe there is a post of one of their dirty little secrets? But it's just talk, it's just text. We need screenshots, we need timestamps, we need video footage, we need a little bit more. And referring back to someone getting bitten, how far does that trace to the death of Noah? We'll get to that maybe at the end of this video. I think we do need a little bit of a conclusion and an opinion. Deanna says, the antibiotics was needed a few days after Noah's death. Anastasia, must have been some deep wound. Was it not needed on September 4th, or did his or her injury occur on September 4th or September 3rd, or after Noah's death? Dina says, he got it the night Noah died, needed the antibiotic a couple of days later when it was apparent it was infected. So Mikey got bit, but didn't need antibiotics, but supposedly JJ or Trav needed? Right. My question is, if you are killing Noah and maybe you're using blunt force items, objects, how do you get bloody bit? I mean, is it face-to-face confrontational? Did it decide to finger Noah in the mouth and fishhook him as well? That's what I just can't work out. If you're stood at distance from the person and you're holding a ranged item or a long object, any object which can distance you from the person without getting too up close, and you can whack them, you can beat them, how does Noah's mouth reach to your bloody hand? It would mean it would be up close CQB. But why exactly? It would seem less of a ambush, more so direct confrontational. But if it links in with Noah's background with wrestling, somehow defending himself, tackling the whoever, JJ, to the floor, maybe that's what closes the gap, the distance. Still kind of weird. But yeah, we'll get to that later. Just for Dina to say he got it the night Noah died, Noah didn't die at night. Unless what Dina means is Sunday night is when Noah died. But that wouldn't make sense because Caden Pressy said Monday morning at 2 in the morning and 2:42, Noah Presgrove was alive, awake and okay. So that's incorrect what Dina Rose says here. We've got to be careful with language and wording because we're going a bit off track, and that's unfortunate. But maybe that's what happens when you're over passionate and you're typing in capital letters. But anyway. Dina, the antibiotics was needed a few days after Noah's death. Must have been some deep wound, was it not? Okay, he got it the night Noah died. That doesn't make sense, fam. I am not saying one of them isn't the one that had the bite that got infected. However, the bite took place at the time of Noah's death. There are pictures out there of the injuries to the knuckle and of the bite. There are pictures out there. Where? When? Are they public? Have they been deleted? It's okay saying there's stuff out there, there's evidence out there, but if we don't have it, then what much use is it? How can we believe in it? We need to see it for ourselves. Is it still available? Or is it like the shower video? Oh yeah, some people saw it and it just magically disappeared. That would be very unfortunate. There are pictures and a video of Noah dead after the death and even a couple of the attack. Pictures and videos of Noah dead. So has Dina seen these photos and videos, or has she been told by someone else in the background? And if that was the case, does the family know about all of this? Does the police know about all of this? I wonder. Anastasia, I've never seen the photo nor the video, neither have I, that you are referencing. Have you actually seen these, or are you just spreading more rumours? Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Are you spreading more rumours? That would imply it's happened in the past and it backfired and it didn't go well. Let's take this with consideration. You know the saying, pick or it didn't happen. Show your cards. Let's see. Know the saying very well. One thing I don't do nor will never spread rumours. I love Noah too much to spread one rumour. When I post something, it is with definitely clear heart and without any doubt it's true. So Dina says whatever she posts is the truth and there is no reason to lie or spread rumours. But at the same time, Dina Rose is stating that Noah died nighttime Sunday. That's false. That's incorrect. Caden Pressy, with his own eyes, said he saw Noah alive in the kitchen at 2 in the morning before Caden went to sleep. Then when awoken by his mum calling at 2:42, Caden said Noah was still awake and alive near the beer pong table with Jasmine Milan and Jack Newton. So for Dina Rose to say everything that I say is the truth and it's all by heart, that it was the night that Noah died, that's misinformation, that's incorrect. This is not a good look. This might be a small scale thing, but it's just not good. I can be lenient and say maybe Dina is referring to Monday but calling it nighttime, but still, it's, if you're going to deliver hard-hitting news, you got to try and make an effort to be as clear as possible and try and avoid the mistakes. Whether this was a mistake or misinformation, one sentence can change everything. And in terms of my belief within it all, it's in tatters right now, just because of that. Very specific. I hope other people watching understand where I'm coming from. Moving on. Dina says, you can rest assured there is a very active. You basically mean there is a very active investigation going on. Yes, there is a reason for no press conference. Believe there is evidence of phone information. Are you telling us to believe in it or yourself? I don't understand. It's just poorly worded. Too bad they don't give press conferences and updates like Sheriff Grady Judd from Polk County, Florida. He's known for his candid and often colourful views. Whatever. Amy, I really think it's Logan's boyfriend JJ. He took off to Texas also, as well as Stevie Howard, Avery, Carter, Logan and Jack. Pretty weird. But Alicia Lee said Logan, Carter and Avery still live at the party house. And at least back in July of 2024, when Logan spoke out against the person in 2024, a few months before that, visiting down, driving down the road late at night or early hours in the morning to record the house, Logan said, we were in the party house, living there at the time, eating lasagna. So how far back does it really date to when, supposedly, Avery, Carter and Logan moved out to Texas with Stevie Howard and supposedly JJ? This is very dodgy how it's worded, because the general public are saying one thing, Alicia Lee is saying the other, and family members and other ones in between aren't really adding on either, so it's just a bit of a mess at the moment, but it is what it is. As I said, I call it a mess because there's not been an update since, there's not been counterpoints made. But I'm sure that will come with time after my videos. Whether that backfires on me or not, it is what it is. I'm Melina. And I believe he also works with Jack Newton now and recently came out of the woodwork trying to discredit Caden Pressey. Dean Rose, is that correct? Yes. Oh, so only recently. Why only recently? Because it was only recent that Caden decided to do that public interview, Partners in True Crime. I mean, you can't really say it's that recent because quite a few months have passed by since now. 2-3 months or so. Fair bit of time. What else? Dina, I'm saying it now because the time is right to expose a deep, dirty secret they thought would never be uncovered has been exposed for all to see. Exposed in text format, stating that there are photos, videos out there, but absolutely no hard evidence has been provided yet. So you can't really say it's been truly exposed. It could well be true, but I'm just not seeing it right now. Stephanie, okay, so just to clarify, the two missing people from my list above is Travis Monson and JJ Bumpass, what I said earlier. Also, person with the bloodied knuckles needing antibiotics was JJ Bumpass. Dina, there is proof he was there and Travis, another one just can't post his name yet, but you hate Noah. Oh. So, Travis Monson, JJ Bumpass, and someone else's name you can't mention. Dina says to Kobe, he lied. Kobe responds, could you message me? He does that a lot, but we took it at the time because he hadn't been brought into anything at the time. Oh, so JJ normally lies to Kobe as a friend. That's not much of a friend, is it? Okay then. Let's reach a bit of a conclusion right now. So originally there was a consensus that in between 3 in the morning onwards, possibly 3:30, that's when something happened to Noah. Maybe just a little bit after 3:30 if it's away from the area, because at 3:41, Jasmine Milan said she got onto the front porchway, looked around, no mention of seeing or hearing anything. So if anything did happen at that time later, it probably would have been further away so you couldn't hear noise. Either way, Monday morning, the consensus that onwards, that's when Noah died in some way. Even though Jack Newton says at 4 in the morning, that's when Noah passed away. And yet Dina Rose is mainly the only one stating that night time when Noah died, which would probably imply Sunday night. Pretty much it. But at the same time also stating that JJ Bumpass and Travis Monson and someone else arriving Monday around 3 in the morning, 2 of which have bite marks, one of which on JJ very deep or deep enough to cause some kind of infection. Why would you bite that hard on someone? Self-defense possibly. I'd understand. Is it possible to bite on someone's hand so hard that it causes a tooth to break, to fracture, to crack, to fall out? I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of it. Where would any of this have happened? This biting? Inside of the house? Outside of the house? On the highway? And why exactly? Why does JJ have an issue with Logan? Oh, is it because supposedly Noah kissed and maybe did a bit more than that with Logan Sunday or Saturday night? I believe it was Sunday night from what Ashley and Robin have said. Oh, so then JJ Bumpass gets jealous and takes it out on Noah and finds out about it. Who notifies JJ, though, about it to come on down as a possible motive? And furthermore, it's been said by some key individuals in the background that JJ Bumpass was not with Logan at the time. And as for not being at the party, I guess that's a separate thing because that's counted now with what Dina Rose is getting at. But if JJ wasn't with Logan at the time, what other reason would there to be to go down to the party and then to take it out on Noah and supposedly Travis as well? And in terms of being bitten so deep and having to go somewhere, have it on notes, medical records, whatever, how do you trace that bite mark, that wound, that infection to the death of Noah? Is there video footage of being bitten? Is there a timestamp associated with it? It could incriminate you. Okay, maybe you can't push it any further. But if there's no videos, there are no timestamps, not really any witnesses or no one that wants to speak up at least, and there is a deep bite mark. Can you trace back when that bite mark exactly occurred? Oh, was that at the time of Noah's death, or was it before, or was it a day earlier? Was it around 3 a.m, but still at the time of when Noah was still alive and awake, from what Caden was kind of roughly getting at, give or take a bit of time difference because, 2:42, then going back to sleep at 3 a.m, or close to. Still seeing Noah alive and awake, all okay there. It's like with writing on Noah's body. Okay, it was documented, it was recorded, but that happened on the Saturday. There wouldn't be a need or worry to scrub it all off at the time when Noah's death comes about, because that writing occurred days before. It's not exactly relevant to the actual death. Okay, it has your name on Noah's body. It's irrelevant. It's just like if you used to get a tattoo a week ago, and then a month later you die. Oh, it's a tattoo shop responsible just because it's got the initials or names on. No. Maybe it can lead to questioning depending on the relevancy of the timeline. Where was the person last seen? Well, in Noah's case, party house. Oh, where was he last seen? Was it followed up with a proper investigation? No. So why would people at the party, if they're responsible for this or that, worry about, I'm going to avoid getting the antibiotics or doing the formal checkup and getting it on record at a medical place because, it could follow up within the case. But if people don't give a shit about it, and certain police don't, then nothing really to worry about. The people that feel invincible, that they can get away with stuff with time, then why would JJ be that concerned? Exactly. And anyway, it's like when... Well, to be honest, I didn't see any footage of Noah slapping anyone. But still, what about the Mikey situation? Mikey fish hooking Noah and getting slapped? Or Noah and Jack having a very aggressive argument Monday, from what Justin Roy said, pushing and shoving. Pushing and shoving? That sounds like a form of the beginning of a fight. That itself sounds more interesting than someone getting bitten, in my opinion at least. And the timing of it all, how it can break out, the timing of the supposed argument, but aggressive one, pushing and shoving. And I'm quoting what Justin Roy said, in case you're wondering, at around 3:30, when Noah was about to leave anyway, distancing himself from other witnesses, people at the party, distancing himself, putting him in a place of vulnerability, into the darkness, outside where not as many people are present to see, hear or watch or help. So, an argument and then walking off. You think an argument, walking off, unfinished business, going away where it's quieter, taking it out, having it out, ambush, all kinds of things, or being dragged, grass in a shoelace. Like how I envisioned it previously. That makes sense. There's a bit of an order and a flow to it. Do we have hard evidence? Unfortunately, not quite. But we do have Justin Roy that referenced certain aspects, as I've re-quoted, in which he wasn't there, but family of family was, and then it passed on to him. If that's truly the case, family of Justin Roy, who was at the party, must have been present to see the fight then, or the argument, which was aggressive with the pushing and shoving. Any physical contact outside of the slap game, it is pushing and is shoving, it can lead to a fight. And if that's the last known thing to happen when Noah was last seen and heard of, that's very telling and eye-opening, isn't it? Okay, we got JJ popping in now. We've got Travis all of a sudden. Oh, all of a sudden. Well, we're kind of like at the building blocks, trying to work it up to strengthen it, whether it truly did happen or not, and how significant is it. I mean, maybe if it's close quarter, really up close, and somehow Noah bites your hand in self-defense, right. But separate it all aside, when you get injuries with Noah's hand at a certain point at the party, and anyone else in between? Was there a direct follow-up or investigation on it? Not from what I'm aware of. So there was a bite mark with JJ and it was deep enough and it caused an infection. If he did get the antibiotics and he did the formal procedure, put it on record, would anyone really bother? Would the police, would authorities actually bother to pull that up and look into it? Really? I don't know. I don't think so. Bite mark, a deep one, can trace back to some kind of physical altercation, yeah, but if there's no footage, I'm just saying, because I've not seen any hard evidence. If there was no solid hard evidence, how could you trace or time it as to when that actually happened? Okay? I mean, it's like certain injuries sustained to Noah, but then you got Isaac Rojas in the background with a firearm, right? And people are thinking, well, you know, the stock of it could have been used to tear the scalp or something. Was there a deep follow-up investigation of that? No. But was the hard evidence footage of just a person holding a firearm which can be used to cause that potential injury? Yeah, but there was just no follow-up, so it didn't really mean much. That could apply to other areas. Okay, you might have evidence, or there might be an event, and it could link, but the other stuff hasn't been followed up or really bothered about, so why would they with this either? It's just unfortunate that at the end of the day, what's been said has been said by a person that types in all capital letters, and it can come across as a bit screechy. I can understand the backstory behind it all. I don't need correcting there. But the poor wording, language, sentence structuring, it's lacking. It's like I'm not being I'm not being talked with as for a conversation. It's like I'm being spoken at, shouted at in a way. You interpret it in many ways. But with the poor sentence structuring, it's like a Stevie Howard statement, trying to understand what it means. Spelling as well. It's like, you know, typing really fast with a keyboard, all smoke and fire coming and out, not thinking before you speak or not thinking before you type. And that kind of follows in with the claim of Noah Presgrove died Sunday night. What? So when slip-ups come out, whether because you're over-passionate or you're typing too quick, you're not thinking the same speed, so mistakes are made. And Anastasia said, oh, spreading more rumours again. Don't know what that's about, but interesting. I do remember Dina Rose at some point in the past where a lot of people had an issue with her on the army page saying, can you stop typing in caps? Can you stop with the exclamation marks? It's obnoxious. And, you know, you're very confident with this and that, but you're not exactly explaining the situation. That was then. This is a different scenario. But still, I'm not confident at this moment. I think what I need to do is focus on my video projects, tick them off the list, and then see where we are. As for everyone else, you do what you need to do or listen into what you need to listen to. But I think there needs to be a level of control somewhere, because all I'll say is, with cases, sometimes people jump ahead. And if it does go wrong, they're lost. Where do we go? If you follow it with a certain structure and procedure, and you've got a safety mat to fall back on if anything does backfire, not as damaging. You know where you are. I'll leave it like that for now. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and this new follow-up news. Possible suspects, we'll call it in question marks just to be careful with the language and wording. Thanks for watching though. I will see you next time whenever that is. Goodbye for now.